Social media is a cancer. We all have it. We all use it. We all use it to express our opinions, no matter what it is. Religion, race, government, politics, you name it. It doesn't matter. Everybody uses it as a form of freedom of expression. Though that is quietly being cut down, and you're not allowed to say much of anything anymore on social media or anywhere in general. Today's society is what I like to call pussified. Can't say anything without triggering somebody. But it's up to the person. It's up to the individual to use common sense and realize and gauge, is what I'm saying wrong, or is what I am saying right? You have to kind of use your brain before posting and hitting that tweet button or that send button. You can't just post anything that you want via a social media platform, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Snapchat, Instagram, whatever the case may be. You have to understand that what you say could, A, reflect the company that you're working on, B, get you in trouble because of that, and C, you have to watch out, nowadays especially, for other people's feelings. Corey Graves is the best color commentator for WWE. He's the closest thing that we have to a Jesse Ventura. He's the closest thing that we have in today's WWE product to a Bobby the Brain Heenan, though he will never come close to either one of those men. But he is very good at what he does, in my honest opinion. As far as color men go, he is the best in the industry. I love the way he presents himself. He's unique. He's different. He is a take on the old school, and he has adapted very well to his new position. Corey Graves, though he may be the very best at what he does, is not safe. Well, because he does a great job behind the microphone on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live, that doesn't mean that his job security is 100% safe. Corey Graves is a mere employee of WWE. He is a number. He is a number. Corey Graves is expendable. Believe it or not, WWE can have Corey Graves replaced tomorrow. Would I agree with their replacement? Fuck no. But Corey Graves is expendable to WWE. TNA Impact could certainly use someone like Corey Graves because their announce team was absolutely fucking horrendous. I don't know why they still have Josh Matthews and whomever else is there doing the commentary. You guys want me to watch Impact Wrestling? I will not until they change their commentary team. Simple as that. Anyway, little sidebar there. You cannot go on social media and express your feelings willingly. You have to gauge whether this is right and could be said and is in the safe zone, or if it's wrong and it's going to trigger somebody and make someone very, very angry. You can't do that. You can't go on social media and say whatever it is you want. Even though sometimes, you're indirectly mentioning something, people will take it, they'll rip it apart, they'll pick it apart, they'll dissect it, and they'll make it a big deal when you indeed didn't mean for it to be a big deal. I've had it happen to me. People think I'm a sexist. People think I'm a sexist because of certain things that I said as it pertains to the women's creative direction on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown Live. How the fuck does that make me a sexist? You see, people out there exist to merely cut you down and watch you, or at least attempt to, have you fail. People like that are out there. Their sole purpose is to ruin your livelihood for whatever reason, because they hate their own, they're upset with their life, they're a failure. they're not making as much money as you are, whatever the case may be. You know? His wife is a 400-pound whale. Meanwhile, you're dating a supermodel, and he can't get any women at all. He's a pimply-faced geek who lives in his basement, who's got Dorito fucking cheese flavoring all over his fingertips, and he's fucking trolling away on social media. Those people. You know, the ones that have crusty 6-week-old pizza boxes underneath their fucking bed. Those people. Those are the people that attack me and everybody else every fucking day. Those people. But you can't say what you want on social media. You shouldn't be saying anything like that, period. Your stance on politics, your stance on, how the government's being run, Trump, religion, race, ethnic background, other countries' rights and rules. Keep it to yourself. And by that, I mean, don't speak about it behind closed doors when there's not a camera. Don't speak about it on social media. Keep it in here. Especially if you work and are employed by a publicly traded company such as WWE, who's trying to run a business and develop a relationship with the people of Saudi Arabia. I understand there was a big deal about not having the women wrestle on the show. Who cares? People are still making an issue about this, no matter what Triple H said about their direction and what they want to achieve by this new deal in place with the Saudi Arabian government. Nobody wants to listen. I've expressed it. I've said it. Many other podcasts have done the same thing. WWE takes great pleasure in trying to build barriers and fucking do first time evers and break walls down and just go into these different places and have this type of thing happen under their watch. They want to be the forefront of something like this because it's going to make worldwide news everywhere. Just like it did in Dubai. Women wrestle for the first time ever in Dubai. Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss. WWE wants to be all over that when Saudi Arabia allows women to wrestle on their shows. But it doesn't give you the right to come back to the United States, drink a beer, and express how you feel about our rights and shit on someone else's rights, aka Corey Graves. Now, what Corey Graves tweeted, or Instagrammed rather, is this picture. Apparently Corey Graves is a craft beer enthusiast. Great North Ale Works Moose Juice IPA. It looks good. Fuck, I'd like to sit down and drink with Corey Graves and shoot the breeze. I'd love that. Now that I know he's a craft beer enthusiast. There you go. But what Corey Graves is showing off in this picture is not his love of beer. Corey Graves actually wrote, next to this fine-looking ale, a drink to remember that no matter how bad we think we have it, at least our women have rights and we all have freedom of expression. Hashtag, if you get it, you get it. And then he puts US. Now, this was 7 days ago, and it's still on his Instagram page. 7 days ago, WWE just came back from Saudi Arabia. 7 days ago, WWE had just finished wrapping the greatest Royal Rumble. I'm assuming Corey Graves was happy to be back on American soil, where he can actually drink a fine ale such as Moose Juice IPA. I've never had it before, but it looks good. But he didn't mention anything about the Saudi government. He didn't mention anything about anybody over there, but it was kind of coded in what he wrote here on Instagram. And there's nothing else that he really is talking about except for the controversy that stemmed from WWE not having the women or not having the women be allowed to wrestle on their program. Like, I don't get why you need to voice your opinion like this. Who cares? Go along with the company objective. If you're a company man, and if you're employed by WWE, shut your mouth. I would have to do it. Even though I wouldn't be happy, I would have to do it. Everywhere you work, and I'm speaking to you realistically. I'm speaking to you realistically. I worked for several high-end jewelry shops in and around Manhattan. If I went on social media and I blasted their name and how I think the company is full of shit, blah, 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 and someone in management seen that, I would be fired. Nowadays, people who conduct interviews in companies that are looking to hire new people, they will look at your social media. Social media is bigger than it ever has been. We're all on social media. They're going to look at your social media and see what type of person you are based on what your social media activity is. Corey Graves is an employee of WWE. Why he would risk anything in the position that he's in for something so stupid that should be kept up here and not spoken publicly on a social media platform is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I don't agree with anybody being that fucking stupid. I don't. And like I said, we're all guilty of it. We've all said stupid shit on social media. Nobody is innocent in this social media age. We've all said something that we've regretted the next day. We've all did the tweet and delete. But that's just fucking stupid. That is stupid. Corey Graves is expendable. Believe it or not, Corey Graves is expendable. He's a number. He's a paycheck. He is not safe by any means. But to say something that stupid, coded indirectly, you know someone is going to take that and they're going to run with it. Because like I said before, people are waiting for you to slip and they will jump at the opportunity to assist in your failure. I love Corey Graves. I don't want to see anything happen to Corey Graves. Corey Graves apparently has heat now for this incident 7 days ago. Now I'm hearing about Corey Graves having heat today. This news broke today. Now, the Saudi Arabian government is well known for their different culture and laws on several different topics, including the way in which they see women. Which is why WWE didn't have a single women's match on the card that night, to respect their culture. Can't go into another country and say, hey guys, what's up? I got the six-pack, I got the keg, we're here to party. Can't be going into their refrigerator and taking out fucking, snacks willingly on your own without asking for permission. You gotta work and gain someone's trust. I'm not gonna have a random stranger come in my house and be like, yeah, just help yourself to the refrigerator. I wouldn't even do that at my best friend's house. But he would allow me to do that because he trusts me. He would come here, dude, have at it. And make like your home. Do whatever you want. I trust him. But with so much money on the line here, this 10-year Saudi Arabian deal, WWE doesn't want anybody in the company publicly criticizing that country for their different culture. And now it appears Corey Graves is receiving backstage heat because of this one Instagram post, which you guys just seen. Now, according to Dave Meltzer, there is heat backstage on Corey Graves for making comments on social media about the Saudi Arabian culture. Meltzer stated that his feelings are understandable, but they should have stayed private. And there are people also stating that he's more replaceable than he thinks he is. If WWE is to continue their relationship with Saudi Arabia, then everyone has to be on board. There is a large sum of money in this Saudi Arabian deal. If you are not going to toe the company line here, you will be done for. WWE's not playing around, and I don't expect them to ever play around when it comes to making money. It's the only reason why this show took place, because it made them quite a bit of money. Meltzer is right. As for Graves, he might even be on thin ice at the moment, considering his reference on commentary. If you guys remembered, he dropped the Bullet Club name on Monday Night Raw, mentioning that Bullet Club is for everyone. And Michael Cole had to correct him and said, Balor Club is for everyone. Was that truly a slip-up? Is Corey Graves really, in that moment, messing up? I don't know how that is even fucking possible. When Jimmy Jacobs was fucking fired over taking a picture with the Bullet Club. You know? There is political hierarchy backstage in WWE. Corey Graves might be on the right side of the devil, Vince McMahon. But you don't want to be in his path of destruction. And just by that, if Vince was quick to fire Jimmy Jacobs over something Bullet Club related, is he going to do the same thing to Corey Graves and now with his Instagram post? I don't know. Would you dare to try Vince McMahon's patience with that if you're a company man in the position that Corey Graves is in, well respected by everybody? I don't think I would ever test Vince McMahon. We may dislike what he does, but I would never disrespect the man if I am employed by him. Now, while there might not be anything wrong with what Graves said, you know, nothing to me anyway looked bad, but it's bad. The company's going to look at it as if it's bad. It's bound to rub some people backstage the wrong way, especially if it ends up losing money for the company. He doesn't have to agree with the Saudi culture, but he does have to be mindful that they are now a business partner with WWE. Jim Ross did the same thing. He talked about the women and the greatest Royal Rumble this weekend on social media. Now, Jim Ross mentioned that the women of WWE were being compensated, or actually, I'm sorry, Jerry Lawler mentioned that the women of WWE were being compensated and paid for, even though, or given a paycheck, even though they weren't on the show and they didn't make the trip. He stated that they were getting paid for not being there. Jim Ross said that the women shouldn't be paid for not being able to compete at the greatest Royal Rumble event, something WWE fans aren't too happy with. Now, I don't see what Jim Ross stated here that was wrong. And I'm going to read to you what he said, and I'm going to give you my opinion on it. Whether you like it or not, I couldn't give a single fuck, because it's my opinion. But when you listen to what Jim Ross stated, you can't really fault him. You can't really argue the fact that he said what he said. You know, it just makes sense. He didn't mean anything in a negative way. Now he states, I don't know why it would be that way. It's not everybody's right to be on the card. You earn your right to be on the card. And the women have done a phenomenal job, and I am a big supporter of women's athletics in general. I am a season ticket holder to the OU women's basketball games. I'm a big fan of the OU women's softball team, who are defending national champions. I am a big fan. But I believe the same thing as I do about WrestleMania. It's not your birthright to be booked. It's like playing in the Super Bowl. It's not your right as an NFL player. You earn that right to get in the game. So I believe the women. I don't know if they were paid or not. I don't know why they would have been paid, and I may piss some people off here, but I'm just being honest. It's my problem I have sometimes, being honest. I absolutely, let's dissect this for a second. I don't think Jim Ross really knows about the culture in Saudi Arabia. It's not the fact that they didn't earn the right to be booked on the show. That's completely idiotic on his behalf. I think he got messed up somewhere. The women have earned the right to be booked on any show. Simple. The women of WWE have earned the right to be booked on any show. So I don't think he understands fully the Saudi political stance on women's rights over there. Now, I completely agree. And I've stated this every WrestleMania season since I've been on here. You earn the right to be booked at a WrestleMania. If there's nothing for you, if you don't have anything important on the show, if you really haven't proven yourself during the year, you don't deserve to be booked on the show just for the sake of being booked on the show to get a paycheck. No, that type of event, you need to put your best foot forward. You give me the best of what you've been presenting on television. If someone is not booked on the show, then they didn't work hard enough. That's the problem we have with WrestleMania. Everyone is just by default booked on the show because it's WrestleMania. Instead of giving people who truly deserve it a spot on the show. Most of those nothing matches are given to people just for the sake of them getting on the show. I don't like that. I've never liked that. I agree with him 1,000% on what he stated about being in a position to earn yourself a spot on that show. But I think he honestly misconstrued one for the other. It's not the fact that the women didn't earn the right to be booked. It's the fact that they were not allowed because you're going into someone else's country, someone else's home. And that's why WWE is going there and sign this deal. They want to break down that wall. And WWE, in my honest opinion, will do that. As time goes on and years go on, I think they will do that. That is my opinion on that. Do I think the women should be paid for not appearing on the show? No. No. It's an off day. The women had an off day. They didn't wrestle. Why would you pay someone who is off? Why would you pay someone and compensate them for not doing anything? If you own a business and you had all men working that one day from 9 to 9, say you're working in retail, you got all the guys working, right? And the women have the day off. You're going to pay the women for not coming in? No. You're not going to pay people who haven't worked. It's a work day. You have the day off. Go about your business. Wait till they come back to the States. Resume work. I fully agree that the women shouldn't be paid for working, or not working in this instance, the greatest Royal Rumble. It's common logic. You work, you get paid. You don't work, you don't get paid. There's no gray area. There's no sexism. There's no, discrimination against women. It is beyond their control. WWE would have loved to have Alexa Bliss or Nia Jax or Charlotte, Sasha Banks on this show. They couldn't. They didn't work. They don't get paid. What is the big deal? The only thing Jim Ross said was the fact that the women didn't earn the right to be booked on the show. That was completely idiotic. They've earned the right to be on the show. They couldn't be on the show for reasons beyond anyone's control in WWE. But they've earned the right to be on the show. They weren't on the show, thus they don't get paid. You're not going to pay somebody for not working just because it's the right thing to do. WWE wants the women to be on the show, but if you're running a business, you're not going to pay someone for not working. Give me a break. People want to make a big deal about something that fucking should not be made into a big deal. So what did we learn here? Careful what you say on social media. If you're conducting an interview, choose your words wisely. Jim Ross, I agree with most of what he said, but the fact that he didn't, say and be careful in what he said, fucked him. And now people are criticizing him. That one line about they didn't earn the right to be on the show. They will pick that apart for fucking weeks. And they'll fucking nail him for it. Same thing with Corey Graves. They'll nail him for it. By criticizing someone else's culture, by coming back to the United States and having a cold beer and talking shit indirectly about their culture. Can't be doing that type of shit, man. Can't be doing it. So what did we learn here today? Please, be careful about what you post on social media. And what is this deal with Baron Corbin lately? Yeah, he didn't get the fucking memo when he was feuding with Dave Meltzer last year, right? All the rumors about him being deep pushed and buried by John Cena and losing his Money in the Bank briefcase in the most embarrassing way possible. Now he's feuding with fucking former referees and he's feuding with podcasters now on social media. I don't know whether it's a troll or if he's just having a grand old time. But what is it with these people, especially in the WWE? It's more in the WWE than anything that I see, that they're criticized knowing that they're not really that good and that you're open to criticisms from everybody. Like, you can't criticize anybody. He immediately shows a picture of his new fucking Ferrari. Who gives a fuck about your Ferrari, Baron Corbin? Yeah, you're over there grading me on my wrestling skill. Meanwhile, look at my new car. Okay, so you get paid to be a shitty wrestler and you haven't done anything in the ring to make me feel any type of emotion towards you or your wrestling character, but I have to look at your car and I have to respect you because you have a nice car? What is with these fucking guys? They can't take criticism, so they show off their house, they show off their condo, they show off their yacht, they show off their Ferrari. And he goes back and forth with everybody on social media. He didn't learn his lesson the first time? If he conducts himself like that, what do you think WWE's going to think about Baron Corbin? Isn't your goal to be a top-tier player in WWE? You don't see John Cena going out there and criticizing people, showing off his fucking Ferraris. WWE wants to push this guy into a main event scene. They want him to be a major player. If I'm looking at it from WWE's standpoint, I don't want someone like Baron Corbin who's going to conduct himself like that on social media to be a top-of-the-line guy. See, I can say what I want because I'm not employed by anybody. I'm my own boss. I can say and do what I want. When I'm signed to a WWE contract or some type of deal where I'm being paid, then you gotta fucking watch what you say. This is why a lot of people make fun of Justin LaBar unwillingly, man, and I fucking hate it. They don't understand. They don't understand. They call him a sellout. They call him a corporate puppet. Why? Because he's doing the right thing? Because he's mindful of his job and his reputation and his position that he's worked so fucking hard for? Does Baron Corbin give a fuck about his position? No! Doesn't give you the right to fucking talk back to anybody. Oh, we're criticizing you. Let me show off my fucking car. Who gives a fuck about your car? WWE wrestlers are the biggest fucking crybabies I've ever seen. Ever. I don't know why you would engage in that type of argument. Or engage in back and forth bickering with anybody. Because something that comes out of your mouth is going to be said, the company's going to see it, and then they're going to de-push you, they're going to take you off television, they're going to job you out. I don't see it being good in his case whatsoever. Watch what you say on social media, man. I got to do a better job at it. You guys got to do a better job at it. You know, things get heated. A lot of times, you know, people think that the phone or your screen is like a barrier. It's like some type of shield protecting you from somebody. You don't know the intentions of anybody. They'll take what you say and they will try to fuck you over. People take what I say and make fucking 3-hour videos on YouTube dissecting what I say on social media about the WWE product. From my perspective, when I'm watching the show, people are taking my tweets and dissecting them, looking for something. But I never make fun of a race, government. I never make fun of anybody. Any individual. That's why I bench and I block. I don't want to see it. Meanwhile, people hang on every fucking thing that is said. Be careful with what you say on social media, man. Like I said, I got to do a better job. You got to do a better job. Just look at Corey Graves and Jim Ross. Two prime examples. Look at Baron Corbin's recent tweets. I mean, it's sad. It really is. Whatever the case may be, man, I wanted to share that with you because, again, it's not the first time I've spoken about this topic. You know, other things have made me go off on these tangents about social media. You know, the whole Paige thing where she had the fucking tapes leaked. Watch what you are doing in your private life. Watch what you're putting on any fucking device or social media. People are waiting to watch you fucking fail. They're waiting to watch you slip, and they will do whatever they can to make you fail. If they don't like you, they will make every attempt to watch you fucking drown. So please be careful. I'm going to do a better job of it going forward, and I want you guys to do the same. Don't do what Corey Graves and Jim Ross stated or did. In Corey Graves' instance, keep your fucking thoughts to yourself and yourself only. It should not be said in a public forum, and it should not be said, period. Keep it up here, okay? Jim Ross, he slipped up and said one thing that people are going to hang their hats on. He didn't say anything out of the ordinary. He didn't discriminate anybody. He just mixed up his words, and maybe he was, a little under the weather that day. Maybe he wasn't thinking correctly. Maybe he was just fucking jet-lagged or tired. Maybe he's still going through stress, which I'm assuming he is from his wife's passing. Whatever. Gotta watch what you say. Careful with what you say and how you word things, man. This is Off the Script, episode 220, part number 3, right before we hit Backlash, the first ever dual-branded pay-per-view. I'm not sure if you guys have picked up on that, but we got some news today. We're going to go over what we can with the remainder of the news that I have on this Sunday right before Backlash. This is Off the Script. Let's hit the intro. I got a new t-shirt, and we're going to talk about everything WWE related as we head towards Backlash tonight on the network. Man, let's hit the intro, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Off this shitty fucking product by coming on here and speaking the fucking goddamn truth about this fucking filth.
And I can book a better show taking a fucking dump after eating my fucking Chipotle chorizo with extra cheese.
I don't give a fuck what anybody has to say. Have I ever? Of course not.
WWE is great, man. Fuck you, Japan, and Kenny Omega, Okada. Johnny! Ooh, what is it, man? Can I suck your dick? Ooh, what is it, man?
And this is the #1 fucking podcast.
Right here on YouTube.com!
This is Off the Script. You know, a lot of people have asked me, JD, are you going to watch Dominion on June 9th? Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. 2 out of 3 falls. You know, I did watch Wrestle Kingdom, and I did enjoy it. It took me literally all day. And, you know, January wasn't really a good month for me. So it was really difficult to sit down and occupy myself with pro wrestling when that event was on. I didn't want to do anything. But I did watch for Jericho Omega. And that was the only reason why I watched Wrestle Kingdom. And I went out of my way to watch it. You know, not to say I didn't enjoy the Fatal 4-Way, the match with Ospreay and Skrull and that Fatal 4-Way. I mean, that was a great fucking match. The event was good, but I don't really want to sit down for another 6 hours on June 9th and watch a show that I'm not completely invested in. So with Jericho and Naito and Omega Okada, I will probably just watch those 2 matches and I will review what I see from those 2 matches. This will be a 2 out of 3 fall stipulation. And it's definitely going to open up more of what we've seen with Omega and Okada. 2 out of 3 falls, the title on the line. Okada actually challenged Omega, which is great. The champion challenging somebody. The champion challenging probably the greatest wrestler on the planet right now. How could you not respect a decision like that? My quick opinion on this entire situation is this. If Omega doesn't win the title, he's going to WWE. That's my opinion. If Omega doesn't win the title on June 9th, he's going to WWE. If Omega wins the title, he will be given the title as a thank you. And he will lose it at Wrestle Kingdom against whomever wins the G1 Climax. Don't know. I don't know. But he will win the title, hold it till Wrestle Kingdom, lose it, and then go to WWE. So either way you look at it, I think this is the last year in New Japan for Kenny Omega. That's my honest opinion. Now, based on current WWE standards, I don't want to see Kenny Omega anywhere near the WWE. But I think it's time for him to get the name of Kenny Omega out to a wider audience. I think it's time for Kenny Omega to even make more money than he's doing now. I think it's time for Kenny Omega to main event WrestleMania. If he can get through the fucking palace doors of the Roman Empire, which right now doesn't look good for anybody, but I think Kenny Omega is going to WWE. Either if he wins or if he loses. That's just my opinion on that. But I'm very excited to see what these two can do in a 2 out of 3 falls match. And it looks like June 9th, I'll be watching along with you guys for Dominion. So we'll see what happens with that, man. But I want to thank everybody for tuning in this weekend to Off the Script. This is a part 3. It feels good to have a part 3 on a Sunday. We got Backlash. I'm not sure if you guys know, it's the first ever dual-branded pay-per-view. I don't know, man. I don't know what you call WrestleMania, but apparently Backlash is the first ever dual-branded pay-per-view. We'll see how WWE handles it. Lackluster card at best tonight. So we'll see what happens. Review coming later tonight after the show is over, as always, right here on the channel. I do have something that I want to show you guys. Take a look at this beast. Take a look at this beast, man. If you guys are watching on YouTube, clearly you see it. If you guys are listening on Podbean and iTunes, you're probably asking yourself, what the fuck is this guy talking about? I can't see shit. I'm looking at the guy in front of me riding the fucking brake who doesn't know how to fucking drive, but I can't see shit other than that. So you guys might have to come back and watch it on YouTube to know what I'm talking about. But we've had some salty trolls get upset over the old Roman design. And he's still not over. Because it had his facial image on it. Oh my God. How can he say so many bad things about Roman Reigns, man? Blow me. The next shirt's gonna be a fucking coffee cup with Roman's tears on it. You fucking clowns. Bunch of fucking That's the next shirt. Seriously. A fucking hand wielding itself as the puppet master with a bunch of fucking puppets hanging from it and a coffee cup that has that same logo that says Roman's Tears. Or the Tears of the Empire, because I can't even use his fucking name. And his empire is still not over. Who am I talking about? Everyone's least favorite wrestler, Roman. Beautiful design, man. Done by Sal Rex, the Beast. Got the Shield logo, right? You got a Shield-esque logo and a Roman helmet inside the Shield. And obviously, the words that utter a fucking entire fan base of WWE. A phrase that everyone cohesively agrees with. And his empire, after 4 years, is still not over. Now, if this design gets approved by Monday, you guys can go and have at it on barbershopwindow.com. You guys are going to use the coupon code BSHOP20, and you're going to save 20% off the fucking shirt, man. Exclusive to Barbershop Window, limited time offer to save yourself 20% on a new t-shirt that looks this beast. Come on, bro. You got to be all over it, man. You got to be all over it. Barbershopwindow.com. These are the other designs that I have. They do it for Roman. The modern day Maharaja is a failure, so we have to showcase how much of a failure he is with a Failure Raha t-shirt. And then Eat, Sleep, Bench, Repeat. Just some of the designs on Barbershop Window, man. You got the gray off the script original logo, the old logo, the Goon City t-shirt, and my favorite, JD is Negan. Plus, to get off my TV line, barbershopwindow.com/off the script. So please go and check that out if you guys want to look good while you're sitting at the tiki bar this summer, enjoying a nice cold Guinness. Yeah. Harry's.com/script. Free trial to anyone who has not signed up already. You're going to get everything featured there. And it's going to be the best shave of your life, man. Harry's.com/script. Make sure you guys go and do that because it's a great way to support the show. Audible as well. Audibletrial.com/off the script. You guys are going to get 30 days. That's 1 month free of Audible. And they're going to give you one free audiobook of your choosing just for signing up, man. So you're going to download the app. You're going to download it on whether you have iPhone or Android. You're going to use audibletrial.com/off the script. And you're going to sign up, and you're going to pick your free audiobook. And if you don't like Audible service, you guys can get to cancel it within the 30 days, and you get to keep your book for free, no matter what, man. If you guys have already signed up, please tell a friend, a coworker, a classmate. Tell Mohammed at the deli who makes your fucking turkey and Swiss sandwich on rye with honey Dijon mustard. Whomever is in your eyesight, man, tell them, listen, you like wrestling? Cool, listen to JD. You like JD? Cool. Support him through audibletrial.com/off the script. And one final thing I do want to mention to you guys is Wrestle Rumble is having a pick'em tonight for Backlash. Go to WrestleRumble.com and enter the Backlash pick'em contest. I'm in it. I already entered it, man. I submitted my answers. I don't know if I'm going to win it. I don't know if I'm going to place. I did pretty well with the Greatest Royal Rumble. This pay-per-view seems to be pretty predictable, but in typical WWE fashion, they might throw a curveball at you. Or they might throw a fucking R.A. Dickey knuckleball at you, and you don't know what's coming. You don't know which way it's going to go. So go play the Pick'em contest for Wrestle Rumble, man. My friends over at Wrestle Rumble doing big things. We got some big things coming up in July for Wrestle Rumble, and they have the Pick'em tonight, so make sure you guys play because it's going to make an overly underwhelming pay-per-view a lot more enjoyable for each and every one of you, man. So win $500 cash, first prize, and buy yourself a fucking cold Guinness, man, with that money. That's a lot of cold Guinness anyway for $500. Also, if you guys want to support the show, man, as always, patreon.com/JDFROMNY206. Thank you to the new pledges and the new Patreons we do have. Thank you so very much for your belief in this very podcast. No, we don't want to see the t-shirts again. Thank you. But you do want to see news, and I have news. I have a lot of news for you guys today on a Sunday. Some pretty interesting news, man. We went over the Kenny Omega Kazuchika Okada match taking place with the 2 out of 3 fall stipulation. We went over the Corey Graves situation and his Instagram blunder. We went over the Jim Ross story and how people were picking apart Jim Ross. Now there's a story that WWE is set to split up the New Day. I don't know how big of a deal this is going to be to a lot of people, but you know, the New Day clearly on WWE television has lost their appeal. And I mean that wholeheartedly. And I don't think WWE Creative is doing anything to rectify anything that they've done with the New Day at all. WWE may be forced into making a big change to the New Day. The group composed of Big E, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods. Kingston and Big E have found some success while singles competitors. They have found their niche as a tag team. The stable originally debuted on July 21, 2014, episode of Monday Night Raw, but their official television debut as the New Day in November of 2014. During their time together, they are 3-time World Tag Team Champions within the company. They won the Raw Tag Team Championships twice, and their second reign being the longest for any tag team in WWE history at 483 days, and the SmackDown Tag Team Champions 1 time. Make no mistake about it, they are a special group who defends the titles under the Freebird rule, with all 3 members being recognized as champions. By looking back on their careers, they won their first WWE Tag Team Championship in April 2015, Extreme Rules, and lost them to the Prime Time Players the following month at Money in the Bank. They kicked off their second reign, which became the longest in titles history, when they won the titles the following year. On December 14, 2016, they became the longest reigning tag team champions in WWE history by beating Demolition's 28-year record of 478 days with the WWE Original World Tag Team Championships and the longest reigning tag team champions for any WWE championship over the last 2 decades. Very impressive, to say the least. But their reign as champions, was merely a WWE-driven agenda. Their reign, to me, when I talk about title reigns, it's what you do in that reign that defines you as champion. The New Day had absolutely no tag teams to go up against, so their reign, though they might have beaten the Demolition's record, their reign is nowhere near what Demolition's reign was. Because, it's common sense that Demolition, during their time, had a lot more competition than the New Day had for their reign. So, in some sense, it merely is just a number. The reign was awful, and it was a WWE-driven agenda because of whatever their ill will is towards Demolition. Simple as that. Their reign was trash, and in no way should be compared to what Demolition did in their reign. Now, their reign came to an end when they lost to Cesaro and Sheamus 4 days later after making history. WWE decided to make some changes and drafted the group to SmackDown in April of this year, where they would go on to capture the SmackDown Tag Team Championships as well. The reign didn't last long as they lost the titles at SummerSlam at the Barclays Center to the Usos in one of the best matches of the year, which was actually showcased on the pre-show. Nothing lasts forever, though, and that is not different in pro wrestling, as the sports entertainment company might be forced into splitting up the group. Along with the success in the ring, they have been banking with money and merchandise sales up until recently. During a recent edition of Backstage in WWE, Brad Shepard noted that the latest merchandise sales could show that the fans are becoming tired of the New Day, which may force WWE to break them up. Here's what he had to say, and this is transcribed. Quote, "We've talked about how stale they are as an act, and if merch sales are any indication, plenty of fans agree. They are no longer a top seller." When asked from his co-host if it was time to break them up, Shepard replied with this, and I quote, "It's a new day. Yes, it is." As far as merchandise sales, I know that is a big determining factor in how WWE looks at talent. But honestly, I think it's more than just merch sales with the New Day. The New Day as a trio are all over the place. They are literally all over the place, man. PR, they're good PR for the company. They're good marketing for the company. The WWE completely trusts the New Day to make every single appearance, big or small, for the WWE. They are ambassadors for the WWE. And I think that speaks more highly than their sliding merchandise sales. The New Day really hasn't been in anything substantial since their feud with the Usos. So WWE creative and how they are booked on SmackDown Live definitely has an effect on what we're seeing right now with merch sales and the New Day. They aren't the forefront of the tag team division. They're not. And they shouldn't be. And with that, it comes with the territory. If you're not featured in a prominent role on television, then you're not going to have those merch sales like you used to. It's common logic. If you're on television, if you're a champion, if you're featured in heavily promoted programs, the merchandise sales are going to coincide with that. The New Day hasn't done anything. Nor should they be doing anything substantial. Their time has come. But that doesn't mean their time has come that they won't be back there. They won't find a new opponent to, kind of relive the greatness that they had with the Usos. That doesn't mean break them up. If anything, the weakest part of WWE television is their tag team division. Why would you want to break up a solid team like the New Day? I mean, they might be trash in how they're booked. Whatever they're doing with this pancake shit is embarrassing. The Usos and the New Day, perfect. They feuded over the title. Who is the best on the brand? Then all of a sudden they're flinging pancakes in the fucking crowd. Blame SmackDown Creative for their lack of creativity for the New Day and why the New Day really isn't succeeding in certain aspects. But that doesn't mean break them up. Their role on WWE's platform, as far as media, PR, marketing, is as valuable to them as a John Cena or a Roman Reigns. And plus, Xavier Woods has Up, Up, Down, Down, in which Big E and Kofi are heavily featured on. What are you going to do? You're going to turn Big E heel? You're going to turn Kofi heel and break them up? I'm not saying that they will never break up, but it's got to be done in the right way. Who are you going to push to the forefront of the three? I've been very high on Xavier Woods. I think Xavier Woods is fucking fantastic and actually gets, underwhelmingly, panned to the side over Kofi and Big E. But Xavier Woods may be the most talented of the trio in the ring. Big E's got clearly the best look of all three. And he's the one that WWE's going to eye to push on television of all three. But it's got to be done in the right way. It can't be done because you want to break them up because of failing merchandise sales. It's so much more than that. And I hope WWE realizes that. I'm not a fan of the New Day. I'm not. But I respect each individually for what they bring to the table. And any idiot could see it. Their value to the company as a trio for whatever they're doing PR-wise, it's as valuable as a John Cena or a Roman Reigns or a Miz, So it's much more than just merchandise sales. I say don't split them up because the tag team division with the New Day, no matter how stale they are, is better than without the New Day. Simple as that. That's my opinion on it. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I would not split up the New Day right now anyway. I want to see Big E thrive on his own. I think he's got a breakout potential. I would love to see Xavier Woods on his own. I think he has massive potential as a singles guy. But as of right now, I would not break up the New Day at all. The real reason why Batista has not received the call back from the WWE. Now, this was a highly discussed topic last week, and I didn't cover it then. But now there's a real reason for WWE's motive for not bringing in Batista during WrestleMania season. Many fans can't understand why WWE doesn't want Batista back. I much rather have Batista than a Bobby Lashley. Absolutely. Because Batista has charisma. Batista has a better look than Bobby Lashley. I think Batista, we were in the midst of a Batista run last time he was here for WrestleMania 30 that, again, failed because of WWE's inept thought process. They wanted to do something that was doomed to fail, and they were going to push that for WrestleMania, and the fans revolted with the Brian Yes movement. Batista as a heel, before he came back for WrestleMania 30, Hollywood Batista, I thought was fucking fantastic. It was the best work of his WWE run. I wanted to see more of Hollywood Batista, right? Prick. Just coming out, just exuding fucking cockiness. I wanted to see it. And we were shortchanged. That was a 3-month thing. Done. And he was gone. But many fans can understand right now why WWE wouldn't want Batista back. He is a 6-time world champion in WWE, starring in one of the highest grossing films of all time, Infinity War, The Avengers. And has expressed a desire to come back and finish his career in WWE. I actually was at the gym a week and a half ago, and I seen Batista promoting Infinity War, and he was on the Steve Harvey show. And he talked about how he loves professional wrestling. Even though he's doing the movie thing now, his passion has always been and will always be in wrestling, and he loves it, he misses it, he's got friends in it. He wants to be back, 49 years old. he revealed that despite the company asking him to appear as Ronda Rousey's partner at WrestleMania 34 instead of Kurt Angle during original talks, the talks broke down and WWE stopped calling him. He said he sent texts to Triple H to ask Triple H what was going on. Obviously, his former stablemate in Evolution. Triple H even ignored him. Why would they do that? Surely the mainstream exposure that Batista could bring the company right now and the sheer star power of his name would have made any kind of deal worthwhile to WWE. Batista has made no secret of the fact that he wants to retire in the WWE and he wants to come back and do the full tour and have a retirement match against Triple H. Brad Shepard of Bodyslam.net, the same guy we just talked about with the New Day, has reported his belief that the WWE is still harboring some ill feelings towards the veteran for the way he went and found success on his own without the company's help. I quote, this is from Brad Shepard. Dave Batista, I believe he would be a solid face for the company. He really could have done those appearances that John Cena did. Dave is a different kind of presence than John Cena, but that's not necessarily always bad. It's just different. And I don't really quite know what it is. They didn't like that he went outside of WWE when they wouldn't give him the opportunities he wanted, and he found them on his own. Now, Brad Shepard believes that WWE internally is harboring ill will towards Batista because he didn't find success through WWE's platform to the movies. Like, Dwayne Johnson found success in WWE, and you know, he went to do movies on his own. WWE hyped and got behind Dwayne Johnson because he was the biggest professional wrestler of all time. You know, or at least one of them. And they'll always back Dwayne Johnson. He is the highest paid movie actor in Hollywood. So anything that Dwayne Johnson does, obviously going to bring mainstream attention to WWE. Why they don't feel that same way about Batista, you know, Batista's not on the level of Dwayne Johnson, but when Batista is in some of the highest grossing movies ever, and his presence is widely known in these movies, why they wouldn't want to bring him in is just bad business. So you're criticizing and you're faulting the guy for finding success when he didn't want to be in WWE anymore at the time for your fuck up, for your reasons. Dave Batista didn't want to be in the WWE because he didn't like how things were being run. He thought creative was shit. So you're blaming him and you're harboring ill will towards Batista because of things that you didn't do correctly? He walked away. He found a passion in Hollywood. Let's be happy for the fucking guy. It's better than him fucking, you know, following the path of these retired old wrestlers who blow through their fucking life savings and are hanging on by a fucking thread doing autograph signings till they're fucking 80. Nah, Batista found success. We gotta hate on him for it. He wants to be back with us. Fuck him. He don't need us. He's too good for us. We'll show him. We don't want him back. We don't need him. That's the attitude WWE has. Like a spiteful fucking child. Like a spiteful fucking child. Right? Clean your room. Or you're not getting a fucking new toy. Okay? Child doesn't clean his fucking room out of fucking spite. You're not going to give me my new toy? I'm not going to clean my fucking room out of spite. Go fuck yourself. Seriously. It's ridiculous how WWE, you know, is this petty. This is pettiness. And, of course, Randy Orton, John Cena, The Miz have all starred in WWE movie productions. But Batista was forced to carve his own career on the big screen. Because why? Dave Batista wanted to be in movies. Did you offer Dave Batista any movie roles for a WWE film? Dave Batista didn't want to go to a WWE film and go straight to DVD in front of, you know, Kmart and Walmart and Best Buy. He wanted to do something bigger. Can you fault the guy for wanting to strive for fucking his dreams? No, WWE wants to suppress you and keep you in their bubble till they feel you're ready. No. What type of life is that? That's a terrible way to fucking look at things. After landing a role in one of the biggest franchises of all time, something WWE passed on partnering up on because they didn't think it would be a success, and featuring it in a James Bond film, it's safe to say that Batista has proved them 100% undoubtedly wrong. Good. I'm glad Dave Batista is finding success. He looks like a genuine human being, and I'd love to see Dave Batista back. I didn't like his last run with WWE, but it goes to show you how much Dave Batista loves wrestling. They made Bryan look like $1 million, he and Randy Orton. And the fact that they put over the Shield, too. And then he was gone. I mean, there's an opening for him if he wants to come back storyline-wise. It's there. He walked out on Triple H in Evolution. It's right there. He would come in and boom, you have instant fucking storyline. But WWE doesn't want anything to do with Batista because they want to be petty. Yeah, let's not take one of the biggest Hollywood stars right now in the highest grossing movie of all fucking time. Yeah, that's a great business move. You know? Everybody will be all over that. Dave Batista back in WWE starting the Avengers Infinity War. Come on, man. If I'm WWE, I'm sending a text to Batista, bro, come on in, we'll discuss something, we'll lay out groundwork for you. Let's get this thing going. No, they don't want to do that. That's a shitty way of looking at things. Fuck WWE, man. Now you see how petty they really are. WWE assigned a major indie talent. This could be very exciting for NXT. Obviously, WWE has plucked Ring of Honor clean. Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, Donovan Dijak, Leo Rush, Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler wasn't a part of Ring of Honor, but, you know, obviously they plucked her from the UFC. But the others are from Ring of Honor. So, this new one that they just signed, currently works for Evolve, has a relationship with WWE, and they send their talents to work under the NXT banner from some time. He has worked with such promotions as Beyond Wrestling, All American Wrestling, Inspire Pro Wrestling, and Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. I am indeed talking about Keith Lee. 6'3", weighing in at 300 pounds. Lee is a talent that could be a major star in WWE. Now, Pro Wrestling Guerrilla has announced that May 25th in California will be Keith Lee's farewell to the promotion. If you recall, just a few months ago, there were reports that WWE was interested in signing Keith Lee and placing him in NXT. Now, the speculation is that he is expected to be announced and signed to WWE shortly. PWG sent out the following to hype the upcoming event. And I quote, "In just 5 minutes, tickets for Keith Lee's farewell event, Bask in Glory, has gone on sale." For me, this story is not an average story, he states. I saw a particular wrestler that inspired me, or anything of that sort, Lee recalled during an interview with ESPN.com. As a young kid in my family, my grandmother was kind of the catalyst for my interest in wrestling because she loved it so much. A lot of my cousins and stuff would wrestle, and we were very young. First of all, I'll say that for me personally, I feel like things I do can be considered impressive regardless of my size, to be honest. I've always been an athlete. I've always loved the more athletic style approach to things. I dealt with that, and I came back to try out with the WWE. I didn't get signed in my first go-around. I was actually pretty ready to hang it up completely because between the atmosphere of Texas and then not being signed by WWE the first time, all I wanted was WWE and all I knew was WWE. I didn't experience other things very much because of my solitude. So Keith Lee now is on his way to NXT. And I am very pleased to see him be taken out of the indies and molded into something even greater. That's what NXT is for, man. They build a foundation for you to potentially, not everybody's going to become a household name, but potentially become a household name. They're going to give him a character, they're going to give him theme music, they're going to give him an entrance, and they're going to let this guy do what he's been doing on a grander stage. And I am very excited to see what this guy can do in a WWE ring. I'm not familiar with his complete body of work. I've seen things here and there about Keith Lee, and I can tell you that for what the guy does for his size is, you know, a rarity. Believe me. You're not going to see 300-pound fucking guys doing sentons over the top rope and be athletic and quick like he is, you know? So I'm very excited to see Keith Lee sign with the WWE, and I'm very excited to see the path that he is about to embark on as they mold him and create another potential superstar. Man, that's the fun thing about NXT. Taking these indie talents and molding them into something potentially special. Can't wait to see Keith Lee in WWE. WWE and Rusev Day seems to be, up and down. Why WWE decided to not give Rusev a main event push on SmackDown Live. Now, the gimmick, which is arguably one of the most over in all of WWE, took the company by storm as the random pairing of Rusev and Aiden English just seemed to work right off the bat. Fans loved it so much, they were glad that both Rusev and Aiden English remained on the blue brand during the Superstar Shakeup. However, there could be an implosion on the horizon after Lana, who I didn't mention on my SmackDown review, kind of weaned off of the Russian accent. Maybe they're going to be more like their personas on Total Divas. I don't know. But she dropped the Russian accent for her normal voice, suggesting that it was English who was holding Rusev back. Since then, reports have emerged that the reason the group is heading for an ugly breakup is because Rusev has been limited to a mid-card role on WWE television. In comparison, Rusev was a main event level villain when he was alongside his real-life wife, especially when he first arrived on the main roster. So, by what we've seen on SmackDown this past week, it looks like Lana is going to try and convince Rusev that Aiden English is holding him back, and they might pair, WWE Creative, might pair Lana and Rusev back together. Now, in the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Meltzer has revealed some details regarding the breakup, why it's happening, and a big reason as to what could be stopping Rusev from getting a huge push that many fans believe he deserves. One of the main reasons that WWE is likely going to end this alliance is because the tag team isn't being pushed, and they won't be featured in the SmackDown Tag Team Championship plans. Dave Meltzer noted that if WWE did have lofty plans like those, then it would have already happened, being that they are so popular. And there has been many opportunities for WWE to put the titles on Rusev Day, and they have not done so. However, the Rusev push might not be happening because of English himself. Why? This is why. He added that while English gets brilliant reviews backstage for his in-ring work and his singing, WWE officials simply do not like his look, and it could be holding the whole team back, including Rusev. It doesn't sound too far-fetched. If WWE doesn't like how English looks, then Rusev Day won't be getting a huge push if he's still associated with Rusev. So it's going to be interesting to see where English goes from here, as he hasn't really been, given a new look ever since Simon Gotch was released from the company and the Vaudevillains were no more. While it is sad news for English as he looks to reinvent himself, it could be brilliant for both Rusev and Lana, who could be well on their way to the main event scene once again. I'm glad that, first of all, I don't even understand why WWE broke up Lana and Rusev to begin with. Lana wrestling in this revolution or wrestling period clearly was a failure. Lana, you look at Lana and you don't look at wrestler. You look at Lana and she is a valet. She is a manager. And I've always appreciated that old school take. Female managers are highly, highly regarded and an important aspect of one's character. Lana was an important aspect of Rusev's character. Now, that Rusev has been on his own for a little bit. He's got his own charisma and he's got his own personality. You mix that with Lana and it could be a dangerous combo, an even better combo nowadays. Look at Zelina Vega. Where would Almas be without Zelina Vega? She transcended that entire character and that gimmick to what is now a main event level character. And a lot of that hinders on what she did. And I'm not taking anything away at all from Andrade Cien Almas. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world. But Zelina Vega has helped propel him to main event status. Now, if Rusev can find that type of success with Lana and not Aiden English, then I'm for it. But Aiden English in himself, I don't understand what his look has to do with anything. He's pasty white. He's thin. He's tall. He's not the most attractive looking guy. He's not a typical, steroid head. He's not a typical big man. But what does that have to do with how the guy fucking wrestles in the ring? If the guy gets a pop from the crowd and people enjoy him singing and people can invest some type of emotion in him, clearly he's doing things right. He's got charisma. He's got great mic skills. He's not bad in the ring whatsoever. If Aiden English wants to come out and do what he's been doing, let him do what he's been doing. You don't need Rusev to be there for Aiden English. But I also don't want to see and hear or read that Aiden English is not liked by WWE management. He's the reason that Rusev Day hasn't taken off the way it should have. Why? I don't understand that. You struck gold. You found a role for somebody who otherwise didn't have a role. I mean, that is the biggest success in all of this. And the fact that Rusev helped get someone over who at this point was an outcast on SmackDown Live. Why would you turn the other cheek to that? That's the type of shit I want to see. The type of shit that Aiden English had to be put through and then be put in an offset pairing of Rusev and found success in it, and they got over as fuck. And you didn't give them the tag team championships, or you didn't give them a push because you don't like the way Aiden English looks? What does that have to do with the way the crowd receives these guys? WWE, man, some petty fucking behavior. Really? That is awful. How would you feel if you're Aiden English and you hear and find out that they didn't give you a push, or they didn't give Rusev a push because of the way you look? WWE, a publicly traded company, going to discriminate on someone's looks and not push him because of the way he looks? Now, I don't know whether I'm going to believe that or not, just based the way on how I worded it. You're not going to push somebody based on the way he looks? That would be like WWE not pushing a Piper Niven because she's a larger woman. Or that would be WWE not pushing Nia Jax because she's a plus-size woman. Oh, we don't like the way she looks. They would never hear the end of it. But it's okay if Aiden English, they don't like the way he looks. What's wrong with the way he looks? He looks fine to me. He looks fine to you. Are you entertained by Aiden English? I am. That should be the only thing that fucking matters here. Bullshit. Rusev and Lana, I hope that they find success, and I hope at that point when they do find success that Rusev Day is still over. But is Rusev Day going to be over when they get rid of Aiden English? I think more people are going to sympathize with Aiden English than they are with Rusev, because they don't want to see the team broken up. Only time will tell, man. Only time will tell. Finally, guys, Backlash tonight. Review will be taking place after the pay-per-view goes off the air. Quickly here, before we get the hell out of here, WWE plans for the WWE title after Backlash. Now, you guys know the Nakamura-Styles match will be a no DQ match. And my heart says Nakamura, but my instincts are going with AJ Styles. I just don't think WWE wants to take the title off of AJ Styles. But it does fit into the objective here that what we've seen with Nakamura, he would win the title tonight, being that it's a no DQ match. So we'll see what happens. But Samoa Joe challenging AJ Styles is kind of throwing everybody off balance here. Why would WWE have Samoa Joe come out and challenge AJ Styles when AJ Styles is not even done with Nakamura yet? Is WWE's main objective here Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles? Then what is left for Nakamura to do? What is Nakamura's next plan of action? Is he going to remain in the WWE title scene? How many more title shots is he going to get at the title? So a lot is going on right now that we just don't know where WWE is going. The Styles-Nakamura match will be the contest that many fans will have their eyes on. It's the only match that I really genuinely care about. And according to reports this late in the day, that is the match that's going to main event Backlash. It's not going to be Roman versus Joe. There's nothing on the line there. WWE is going to main event Backlash with AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura. Now, according to reports, a huge new challenger will be looking to capture the WWE title at the Backlash from either Nakamura or Styles. Justin Barrasso has reported. Now, Barrasso, he's 50-50. He's very hit or miss with these reports. Has reported that Samoa Joe will be inserted immediately into the WWE Championship picture after this weekend's pay-per-view, and he will likely be feuding for AJ Styles' title, meaning AJ Styles is going to beat Nakamura. Barrasso also notes that Joe is likely to lose his match against Reigns on Sunday as well, and the future booking also likely means Styles will be retaining the WWE title against Nakamura. While Barrasso also says that it will be interesting to see creative's direction for Nakamura if he is unable to capture the title at Backlash. There's always the possibility that WWE can keep him around the main event scene, which we just stated, and make a feud for it, and it will result in a triple threat, which will be very entertaining and something WWE fans would love to see, being that Nakamura, Styles, and Joe all have some type of history together. WWE has already teased a possible feud with Joe and Styles on this week's SmackDown, with Joe distracting Styles while he stood in the ring, allowing Nakamura to low blow him once again. We'll have to wait and see until Backlash on Sunday night to see what WWE decides to do, but for now, many fans will be excited to see that the Samoan submission machine potentially looks to be back in a major title picture for the first time since SummerSlam of 2017. So we'll see what happens tonight, man. I'm going with Styles, but my heart says Nakamura. And the biggest question is, if Nakamura doesn't win the title, how many more titles title shots is he going to get, and where does he go? Does he hang around, or do they move him on to someone else? I don't know, man, but it's going to be interesting. One of the things that I'm going to keep a keen eye on tonight and going into SmackDown Live on Tuesday. Thank you guys so very much for Off the Script, man. I hope you enjoyed part 3. Let me know what you guys are thinking down below for all the top stories on today's show. Please go out and support the show however you can, man. Barbershopwindow.com/offthescript. The Roman Empire t-shirt coming on Monday, hopefully to Barbershop Window. You guys can do great by supporting the show by picking up one of these bad boys, man. So make sure you guys keep an eye out for that. Follow me on Twitter. I will definitely update you guys on there at JDFROMNY206. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on that bell for notifications. Audibletrial.com/offthescript. Harrys.com/offthescript. Remember to play Wrestle Rumble tonight for your Backlash pick'ems. WrestleRumble.com. And if you guys want to support the show via the Patreon page, patreon.com/JDFROMNY206. I'll see you guys tonight for Backlash or Backtrash, whatever you guys are calling it, and we'll do the review tonight, and we'll begin a brand new week of WWE content next week, man. Thank you guys so much. Hit that thumbs up, and I'll see you tonight for Backlash 2018. I'll talk to you later.